Hi, this is video number 246, Withdrawal Warriors Worldwide, a Fellowship, Purpose and Identity. 1. We are an international fellowship of individuals who have chosen to discontinue the use of prescribed psychotropic drugs. 2. Our sole purpose is to support one another, both individually and collectively, as we each travel the road to freedom from the use of prescribed psychotropic drugs and their adverse effects, both while we are taking the drugs and as we withdraw from them. 3. For the purposes of this fellowship, we are not licensed medical doctors, therapists, counselors, psychologists, or licensed in any other medical occupation or profession, nor do we claim to be licensed medical staff with respect to this fellowship. 4. We do not offer medical advice. As such, it is important for each member of this fellowship to be in contact with appropriate medical staff as he or she undertakes the endeavor to discontinue the use of prescribed psychotropic drugs. 5. This fellowship has no opinion concerning the current general practice of prescribing psychotropic drugs or any other social issues. 6. All opinions and information offered in this fellowship will be based on existing generally accepted information in the literature, personal observation, and personal experience. 7. There are no dues, fees, or any other financial aspect related to this fellowship. Okay, Pillars and Truths. 1. Our journey from the discontinuation of prescribed psychotropic drugs through withdrawal to a place of wellness is a process. 2. We are all different. No one else can feel what you feel. Each person goes through and experiences the process in a manner that is unique to him or her. No two individuals experience the process in exactly the same way. We will each have a different story to share when we reach wellness. We will each have different symptoms with different intensities. We will each notice improvement in different ways and at different times. We will each have our own time frame for healing. 3. There is no perfect way to taper from psychotropic drugs. However, under no circumstances is it wise to cold turkey from psychotropic drugs. 4. The brain is continually trying to heal in its own unique way during withdrawal from psychotropic drugs, even though there are times when it feels like no healing is occurring. 5. Even though the myriad of strange, intense symptoms during withdrawal causes us to feel or believe we have developed a mental disorder, we have not. 6. Often, the symptoms of withdrawal lead us to fear that we have developed some other empirically diagnosable condition. In such cases, it is best to be checked by a doctor, if only to provide us peace of mind. 7. Currently, the passing of time is the only known way to effect healing from psychotropic drugs, although there is hope that a quicker way to healing will be discovered in the future. As such, withdrawal is a matter of surviving until wellness is reached. Anything that helps us pass time is beneficial. 8. Acceptance that we are in withdrawal and that it will take time is necessary in reaching wellness. Blaming ourselves or others for our current predicament does no good and is counterproductive. It is what it is and it will get better. 9. It is absolutely necessary for us to keep hope alive during the withdrawal process. We need to reach out to anything or anyone to maintain hope. 10. It is important for us to seek positive, hopeful input from wherever we can find it. Places of negativity and confrontation of any sort should be avoided. 11. We must be careful of what we read and believe. It is important to realize that nearly everyone in the withdrawal forums and Facebook groups is also in withdrawal. They are also afraid and have cognitive issues. For this reason, harmful misinformation and fear abound. In withdrawal, the power of suggestion is enormous. 12. All of the bizarre, painful, fearful thoughts and feelings we have in withdrawal are distortions caused by the withdrawal itself and have no place in reality. Okay, the promises. These promises are primarily from Alcoholics Anonymous, pages 83 and 84, with slight modification. 1. If we painstakingly adhere to these pillars and truths, we will each make it to the place of wellness and will be amazed when we get there. 2. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. 3. We will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. 4. We will comprehend the word serenity and we will know peace. 5. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. 6. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. 7. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. 8. Self-seeking will slip away. 9. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. 10. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. 11. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. 12. we will realize that God has done for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They will always materialize as we reach wellness. Okay, let me see. Where's my cursor here? I can't find the cursor. All right. It's a lot cooler today. Still probably around 80 degrees, but a lot nicer day as far as like humidity. It's a lot drier. Still kind of warm, 80. I like down around 70, but 80's good. 80's good. Beats 95. That's what it was yesterday. Let me see. I've been watching the Hobbit movies here lately. I watched the first two in the last couple of days. So yesterday was The Desolation of Smaug. I haven't watched these in a while, so it's kind of fun to go back and take a look at them again. Won't be able to watch it tonight because I'm going out with Harold tonight. Tonight's the night out for jazz and dinner and that. He sent me a Facebook message. I think it was last evening. We often will go to a Vietnamese restaurant near where he lives on the other side of the river. And he noticed that it is under, somebody bought them out, and it's still a Vietnamese restaurant, I guess. They had the greatest, maybe the best chicken wings I ever ate in my life, really. They were really, really good. He actually had the order of them, and he gave me one to eat. It was excellent, the spices and stuff. The shrimp fried rice is incredible too. So I'm not sure what to expect. Like if we go there tonight, what we might get. Today is food pantry day. After I do the video here, get some lunch, and then we'll head over to the food bank and then the food pantry to church. That's always kind of fun. It's a good thing to do. I have a couple Facebook messages. One I just got like moments as I came up here with my laptop to do the video. I saw I got a Facebook message. I'm going to talk about that one a little bit. It's just a short one, but something that I think needs to be talked about a little bit. That probably a lot of people have questions about it. So I'll start with those, and then a couple topics I want to talk about a little bit. Some things that are going on, I guess. Okay, the first message. Hi again, Dawn. I have yet another question from the depths of hell. I may have asked something similar before, probably as I'm going round and round this insanity. As you know, I've plunged myself into more despair, so it seems, from another small cut from the SSRI antidepressant that I did. Under no circumstances will I be doing that again until definite improvement shows. I'm surviving minute to minute right now and feel right back at the beginning. Not that it was much easier before, or indeed I felt any progress. I'm praying so hard that this will settle. I know we are all different and healed differently. However, if someone is at about the same time as me and is proclaiming to not be healed, yet a lot better, and I am still at a bat crazy stage, constantly thinking I will not survive, is it most likely I am way behind in healing and likely to go on for many more years. Also, I'm getting increasingly bitter when people are better or improving at much less time than me. I hate this so much, but I'm being honest and worried this bitterness is making matters worse. I'm not normally like this, and I'm worried my personality has changed and I've become bitter and twisted. I feel like I'm being destroyed mentally, physically, and spiritually. The fear is so intense, and I'm scared that a tiny extra stress will push me over the edge. For instance, family not taking seriously the hell that this is, and then getting fed up with my suffering. You would think after all this time I would be more accepting. Instead, I'm getting so desperate. I feel stuck in purgatory because of past mistakes. It's getting to the point of surviving a day to fear the next. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. Without your videos of life on the other side and words of home, I would be surely incarcerated by now and not convinced this won't still happen. Thanks, Dawn, as always. Okay, you're not going to get incarcerated. You kind of are. You have yourself incarcerated, not by something you are doing to yourself. That's just the way withdrawal is. We're kind of all incarcerated when we're in withdrawal inside our own heads. That's how it felt for me, and I've talked about that many times, and I hear that from a lot of people. It's like we are stuck inside our heads. We are stuck inside our own misery. That's just the way it is for most people in withdrawal. Okay, let me see. The question she said, she asked, okay, what she's basically saying is she's not healed. She hasn't felt any better. Is she behind others who are like basically the same amount of time off but have noticed improvement? It's going to take her years longer. There's no way to know that, but like behind in healing doesn't make, like behind in healing, behind, everybody is healing. Like when we're in this, your brain is constantly healing. It's rewiring. It's trying to figure out like what has been done, and it's making amends like inside, but it just takes time. There is no, you can't compare yourself to anyone else. It's just, I know it's hard not to do. I know that, because I did it too. I did it all the time, and it would throw me into the depths of despair when I would see other, like she talks here about, she gets increasingly bitter when other people are better or improving, and at the same time, or even less time, and she's still in the midst of it. I know that feeling, believe me. I can remember when people on the first forum I was on, like they would start writing, I'm feeling better, I'm getting windows, this is happening, I'm gradually getting better, I can tell. Or some people would say, I'm well now, and I would get jealous. I would be jealous that, well, why not? And like, and it's a very self-deprecating thing, because you feel guilt and shame, like I should be overjoyed that these people are getting well because they're finally getting out of this, and that's not how I felt. I mean, inside, you know, I should feel that way. In your spirit, say I should be nice and be happy for them, but you're in such depth of misery that you feel jealous. And for me, like I have talked about this before, when I got out of the hospital and I was so sick, and we had 2 cats, and I remember being down in the family room just pacing around and around, and they're in their little beds looking at me like, and I'm thinking like, this isn't fair. They feel good, and I'm a human being. I should feel at least as good as the cats. And I would get jealous of them. It's insane. It's just insane. It's common though. It's common. And at some point, when you start feeling better, you'll be happy for other people too. Look at it this way, and I tried to look at it this way. At least I knew in my spirit I should be happy for these people. It wasn't like I was totally bitter and just had no feeling of remorse for those jealous, bitter feelings. So in that way, that's a positive in a way, but it's hard to see other people get better when you're not. Let me see what else. Okay, being pushed over the edge. I thought that too, and then I thought, well, how can I be pushed over the edge? I'm already over the edge. Like, you're already in what I think is a form of PTSD from the drugs. You're kind of already over the edge. You can't, I don't know what else, you know. I mean, there are some things, I guess, but you're kind of already in what we would call insanity. It's not really insanity. You're already in the depths of misery. Can you feel worse? I don't know. There were times in my withdrawal when I just felt, I couldn't imagine that I could possibly feel worse. It was even possible for anyone to feel that bad or worse. So, yeah, losing, you know, like going over the edge, I don't, you know, if you were going to go over the edge, whatever that means, you would have done it by now. Okay, desperation, yes. Let me see. Okay, it's getting to the point of surviving a day to fear the next. Okay, I've talked a little bit about this before. I tried, and I felt that way for a lot of my withdrawal, and I finally got to a point where I would sit at the end of the night, at the end of the day, like usually about around 10 o'clock at night, sit in my chair and mentally prepare myself for the next day, and trying to have no expectation whatsoever what the next day would hold. Thinking, knowing probably another Groundhog Day, probably, but maybe not, you never know. I just tried to not, my focus was going to wake up in the morning, I got another day to get through. My goal, my sole goal, the only goal I have is tomorrow night at this time, I want to be sitting here doing what I'm doing now. And maybe in the interim, something good will happen. But that doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care if I remain sick or feel better during tomorrow, like the next day. My goal, I have succeeded if I'm sitting here tomorrow night doing exactly what I'm doing now. I tried, and that's hard to do. It was really hard. And I know if you think about that too much, you're like, what a sad way to exist. But it's not. You're getting through. Like, you have to survive. That's what this is about. You try to find the least painful way to do it. And for me, that's what it was. It was like, okay, tomorrow night, if I'm sitting here doing exactly what I'm doing now, I accomplished something. I met my goal for the day. I know this is hard. I know this is hard. You'll get over it. You'll get through it. Trust me, you will. I promise. you see what time I have here. Okay, 15 minutes. Okay, the second message I got, this was just moments ago. Dawn, I watched yesterday's video. Thank you. Were you real shaky inside, like my symptoms? Also, you said you didn't have any hot flashes. I get them, and I think there is something more wrong than withdrawal, like hormonal issues. Okay, for me, I didn't do a lot of sweating and getting hot flashes and stuff like that. Many people do. I was kind of mostly the opposite. I would be cold in the middle of summer. I would be cold. I would have sweatshirts on in the middle of summer. It's like it's 90 degrees outside, and I got a sweatshirt on. So that's the way it was for me. That's the way it is for a lot of people. A lot of people get the hot flashes, get the sweating, especially at night, sweating in bed, just being soaked in their own sweat. Okay, the hormonal thing. That's in withdrawal. I think we clearly have hormonal issues. The endocrine system is affected. I mean, all of the systems are affected. And your hormonal system is very important. There are a lot of different glands and so forth that secrete and distribute all kinds of different hormones and steroids, neurosteroids, and other steroids, and you can't. And when that gets messed up, and there's hormonal, your endocrine system, like there's this, to me, it's like the fine-tuning system of your body. And when it gets messed up, the fine-tuning is gone, and you get all kinds of stuff. Your hormonal levels, I think, just they're all over the place. I've seen that many times. People have various levels of hormones checked, like their thyroid is a biggie. That, like I have hyperthyroid, I have hypothyroid. But I think withdrawal just causes these things. It's not. I don't think it's like the hormonal issues that are causing the withdrawal or the whatever you want to call it. It's the withdrawal and everything that's happening there that's causing these. That when the withdrawal is over, I mean, logically you would expect like your hormone system, like your endocrine system, to return to a normal state. So, yeah. And as far as the shaky inside, yes, I would be very, especially when I was in the hospital and when I got out, I was just physically very shaky. I would shake, just, I would physically shake. I always had the vibration too. There was always this vibration. It was like a motor inside of my chest where my body just, very fine vibrations in my body, especially in my chest though. And that's just one of the, there's many weird, strange symptoms like that. Twitching and burning and numbness. The same lady, we talked about numbness the other day on the phone. It's common. It just is. It's one of the hundreds of symptoms. Okay. Okay, about 18 minutes. I got a couple topics here. Okay, yesterday I talked about I wanted your opinion on videos versus phone calls and changing things around there. I'll keep doing videos. Okay, I'll just kind of let it at that for now. And something that I would like to hook up with someone else who has gotten through withdrawal and is helping people. And one of you, and I thank you for sending me, it's a link to one of her friends who went through withdrawal. And I didn't even know this site existed. It's a website link. She shared the link with me. It's a BenzoHelp website, kind of like an advocacy kind of website. This is someone I had never heard of, a guy. He's a guy too. Seems there's mostly women in this, so it's, when there's another guy, it's kind of nice because I think you need representation on both sides. I think there's something good about that. I contacted him. I sent him an email earlier this morning, a rather long email, which I apologize for. See if he would like to partner in some way. He seems to be a very outside the box kind of. I didn't go through his whole website, but it's really good one. So I'm waiting to hear back from him and hoping that maybe in some way we can partner. I don't know that he does videos. I saw he had one of the videos from Baylissa on there, but you never know. I mean, you keep plugging away and trying to find other people, and maybe we can set up some sort of maybe colleagues or a coalition or something. I don't know, but I think that's something that this whole effort needs. That we've got a number of people doing different kinds of things, and there's nothing connecting us, linking us. I'm hoping that something like that does happen here before too awfully long. So I think that's the best way. And my thought is, and this is only Dawn's thought, that there could be certain people doing videos and have different kinds of websites and so forth. and other people who will take phone calls. Kind of like two different groups of people, because I just, it's too much for just a couple people to do. You need a whole bunch of people. And I think most of the time, people who are taking phone calls are going to charge a fee. I think that's just kind of the way that it is. Anyway, you see what else. This topic has more to do with just something I was thinking about. I got a Father's Day card for my daughter 2 days ago, I think it was. Yeah. And so this topic is kind of like has to do with like the healing or return of relationships after withdrawal is over. Because I know during withdrawal, our relationships suffer. Sometimes they end. Almost all of mine, I think they were put on hold. They kind of like ended, but they were sort of put on hold, I guess. So anyway, I want to talk a little bit about, I've talked about my relationship with my daughter through all of this. When I go way back to the very beginning, well, before I was put on polydrug in 1997. Before that, like my relationship with my daughter, like it was always really, really good. Like she was just, we were so very close. The thing that I remember the most is every night I would kneel at her bed and say her prayers with her. I would listen to her prayers, and then we would play like the silly little games that you play. Like the one we had was it's called Kiss Face, and I would like kiss her all over the face, and she'd giggle and laugh and that, and that was pretty cool. And we also had this other game that like when her prayers were over and we were done with everything, and I was getting up to leave, one of us would say good night, and then as I'm leaving, another one would say good night, and we would continue doing that to see who was the last one who said good night. But you can never know who wins that game, because you don't know if, like, when you said good night, that the other person heard it or not, or if they said it. It was one of those non-win games, but we always played it. It was kind of fun. We had a really close relationship, and then in 97 things went sour. My thing at work, and then she got into her little rebellion thing, and then I started getting panic attacks and the whole polydrugging thing. And then as I got sicker, she got nastier, and we just spiraled into this really, really bad, dark place where we really did not like each other. And I don't think it was, I think she just got angry that happened to me, but yet she sort of blamed me in a way. I mean, she was a teen, she needed me, and I wasn't there. I was in another world. Anyway, so that's how that went, the polydrugging and all that. And we didn't like each other, so we went through a year and a half or so there. And then I started coming back. I got off of all of the drugs except the Klonopin, and our relationship started to return, and everything was getting better, and things were good, and so on. And then when I quit drinking again in 2009, and then I went like a withdrawal from that, and then the tolerance withdrawal from the Klonopin, and then like the withdrawal itself, and almost 3 years of just stuff. And she kept her distance from me. Like, she needed me again there. She had our grandson. She was pregnant with our grandson, and I was gone again. It was like Dad's absent again. It was almost like I was doing this on purpose to her. So over the course of that nearly 3 years, I remember like the first Thanksgiving, I'm not even sure if I was even off the Klonopin yet. We always had Thanksgiving dinner in at my in-laws. Was my father-in-law at the time. And I remember right after dinner, I think I went for a walk with her, and all I could talk about was how miserable I felt, how bad I felt. And I could tell, like, she doesn't want to hear this. She said, "Here we go again, Dad." It was like that. But anyway, over this course of the next nearly 3 years, as I was in withdrawal and getting well, she would, I would see her now and then, but we wouldn't talk. She would be there Friday nights when I would go out with the family to dinner, but I didn't talk really to anybody, and she was there. But when it would come to like my birthday and Father's Day and that, she always would send me cards that would go something like this: "I miss you, Dad. Come back to me soon." And even now, it's like, yeah, I was gone. I was just, and that's the thing. Like when we're in withdrawal, and like all of these, our children, our spouses, like people in our family and our friends, like we miss them. We want to not miss them so badly. We want to be able to relate to them and do things and talk with them and communicate, but we can't because we're in such misery, even to the point that we miss ourselves. I miss myself terribly when I was in withdrawal. It's like, where did I go? I don't even know who I am anymore. And I remember when I got well, it was like I could see myself coming back, and I've talked about that before, but it's like we miss ourselves and we don't know how to come back. We don't know how. We know we want to come back, but we don't know the way. It's like Dorothy in Oz. I was thinking about the Wizard of Oz. It's like she wants to, go back home. There's no place like home, no place like where you've always been, but you can't. You don't know how to get there, and you don't want to be where you are, but eventually you do return. Like Dorothy returned, and you all return. We all return. But anyway, the thing that brought this on was like Sunday is Father's Day, and she got me a card, and the cards that she's got me since I've been well are really, really good too. So I want to read it here. Not that I think she's the greatest daughter in the world, which she basically is, which she's a really good daughter, or that I'm the greatest father, but just to give you an idea of like how it changed. And I'll read it here to you real quick. It's not only on Father's Day that I think how blessed I am to have you for my dad. Almost every day I find myself remembering something you said, something you taught me, something that showed your love. In those moments and always, I'm so grateful to be your daughter. Happy Father's Day. Okay, that's the card. The card always says something nice and cool. And then she wrote this: you've been a great dad, even through all of the rough times. And we've had really, really hard times. I appreciate your patience and love, especially for Eli, that's my grandson. He requires patience and love. I love you very much. Love. And then she signed it. She put AKA, also known as Old Sweetie Pie. Okay. She remembers that. That was my name for her when she was little, Old Sweetie Pie. And Old Sweetie Pie's back. Dad's back. Life is good again. So she always gets me. She will always put in there like through the rough times, because that's kind of like the hallmark of. There were a few years that were just really, really hard. And I think we have the capacity now to look back and say, we did not necessarily cause that to happen. It's just part of our path. And what is miraculous and wonderful is our path. They met again. Okay, we met again. And that's how it is in withdrawal for a lot of people. It has been for me. Like, once you come back, if these people cared about you and loved you before, they'll return. They will. They're waiting for you to come back, and they lose patience, and things get said, and it's hard for them too. And so they shy away. They sort of like abandon us and withdraw. But if the relationship was good and strong before, it will be again, and it's even better. It's even better because now they know how strong you are. They see somebody who is much stronger than the person they knew even before withdrawal. So I just wanted to read that to you a little bit. That's my Old Sweetie Pie. Yeah, my 35-year-old Sweetie Pie. Yeah, she'll be 35, I think, here in a couple of months. Let me see what else. My son, not sure what kind of card I'll get from him. Sometimes he gives me a really funny one. And he's been going through something lately. He comes over and talks, and I listen to him, but don't really have any wisdom to share because it's just a hard thing. So if he gets me a card this year, it might be one of the serious ones. Lately, he's been giving us serious cards because he's been going through some things, and but he knows Dad is back. Dad is strong again. Dad, I can come to him because in withdrawal, I couldn't. It was all I could do just to sit in a room with him. And he's like probably my most favorite person on earth. Yeah, he's Little Goof. I'm Big Goof. He's Little Goof. That was our favorite book when he was little. So anyway, I'm thinking we'll go to Rita's on Sunday anyway for Father's Day. Rita's it's becoming my favorite place to go for like something sweet. Get a nice Italian ice there. A wild black cherry maybe. That's my favorite. But that's probably what we're gonna do Sunday. So anyway, like relationships. I know it's hard when you're in this to continue relationships, good relationships, ones that feel good, but they do return. Once you get better, people see your strength. They see you have your heart. even your heart is better, your spirit, you know you've been through something and you just feel strong and courageous and good. And it's like the promises that I read, the 12 promises. It's true. They are true. And that's why even in AA, when I was so incredibly messed up, I still love the promises, because I thought these are promises. Like somebody wrote these as promises. They're not just like, well, maybe this is going to happen. They're promises. They're good. You can bet on it. When you get through withdrawal, you say, wow, all 12 of these are true, and many more, probably many more. Anyway, okay, I'm at 30 minutes here. That's all I got for today. So I'm gonna get down here, get a little lunch soon, and head on over to the food bank and then the food pantry, and then out tonight with Harold, and maybe some Vietnamese food. I'm not sure. Hard to tell where we'll go. I don't know. But anyway, as always, I'm right here, and I will be right here. Bye bye.